Sex is the one common denominator we all have. I mean, even if you're unique or you got shot off in the war, you have no lower portion of your body, you're still going to be interested in sex. I don't think rave was sexy, no. I always got the impression it was always a mindless gathering of people who were drugged out of their gourds, wearing really awful clothes, who went one place to basically be in the same place with lots of people who were out of their gourds, who wanted to sweat a lot. When you went out to dance, it wasn't to have sex with somebody, it wasn't to meet somebody and have sex, it wasn't about flirting, and it wasn't about being turned on, it was about having a good time.
That rave attitude, you know, hooded top, like, you know, flary trousers, soppy haircut, you know what I mean? That's definitely, like, rave has become a parody of itself. You know, you see all these hot, sweaty young men giving it all the macho hard bit, which, you know, really isn't a turn on. But on the other end of the scale, when you've got really good, sexy, psychedelic type music that isn't aggressive and has got a bit of depth to it, and you've got men and women working their bodies on the dance floor, and then it does get very sexual. Yeah, you can definitely pick up a lot about people's sexuality from watching them dance.
I think clubs basically are for attracting the opposite sex, looking good, feeling good, and if you love dancing, then you're there to love.
You can sit and watch someone for a long period of time without sounding perverse, and watch them give off total sexuality in their movement.
I don't think you can judge how good somebody is in bed by the way they dance, apart from a good pelvic movement is a giveaway sometimes.
Clubbing.
I love seeing people snogging, especially to a slow record. And then it can get a bit steamy and they can start sort of thrusting and throttling and stuff.
I don't think it's a question of sex. I think it's more a question of making love, really.
But apparently there has been some sex at some of the things that I've done. But there's been we had these kissing booths once, and apparently so people with the whole kissing booth was completely shaking. There was some guy with his trousers, you know, around his ankles.
It's very nice when you can make love, you know. I think it's a lot more soulful than just having a good bang, basically.
But I never saw any of it, and it's because if I did see someone like doing something, you know, in a club, I'd actually say, no, please go and do it at home. Because I think the idea of what is flirtation.
Even if I have a boyfriend, I have to be able to flirt. I don't misbehave, but I do flirt. If someone sort of comes up and starts talking to me, then I will, and I sort of give them different eye looks and sort of things like that.
Glamour.
What happened was we went from the 80s, which was everyone was like designer this and spending tons of money and all that kind of thing, to rave, where everyone was dressing down and you had trainers, tracksuits, and everyone was sweating. A lot of sweaty men. Going like that.
Flamboyant.
You go to a club now and you see everyone dressing up now and making an effort. I think the people who do it best are your sort of your drag queens and your transvestites and stuff. They just, you know, glamour personified.
Drag is a complete outward expression, and it allows you to dominate any situation that you want to be in. It's a gorgeous power tool. Honey, darling, can we talk about power dressing? I tell you, there is nothing like the feeling of having a pair of black panties and a bra on under your business suit. I recommend it to anyone. Drag right now, it's moved beyond just like a sex fetish. It's like a self-awakening. It's like exploring different aspects. It's like being a chemist where you maybe 2 parts platform shoe, 1 part blonde wig, put together in a blonde bombshell. Sensuality, darling. The living experience is all about being sensual, touching, tasting, feeling. You know, life is a banquet, darling, and most poor bastards are starving to death. We're back on track, baby, and welcome to the party. Everybody come on in.
Excuse me, who are you?
Well, I'm John Virgo Garrett III.
And I'm Benito Benitez. No. I'm Michael Münzing.
I'm Luca Ancelotti.
The name Snap is a function in a sequencer program. When we're searching, we're looking for a name, we're just looking around the program, we say, yeah, Snap, that's it. We get a lot of people coming to us and want to be signed by Logic. You know, I think that was the first idea, to open a label.
So basically we could always get whatever we did released because we couldn't find any label to release our records.
We are always doing 20, 25 tracks, and then we keep them.
Yeah, and then
we start to look, and at the end we have 10, so we say that's the best, and that's the way we work.
So the rest of the world doesn't get to hear the junk that we produce.
Yeah, then it's trash somewhere there, or in the computer trash.
Nikki is, as far as working with her, I think she's the easiest.
She's the peak what we have now.
The best.
She works professional as a singer. She comes in, 2 hours, that's the longest what we work with her.
One take Nikki, that's what we call her.
I go where the gig is, you know. I like to work, so it wasn't really like, oh my God, I'm going all the way to Germany. Usually I come over, or they send the music to me and say, start writing a lyric if we have an idea like this, and I'll write 3 or 4 different, types of melodies that I think might work, and I come over and I sing, and they pick which one they like. But I have some say so, but it is their group.
She brings a lot of creative influence to the music because we can't sing. That's very important.
If we knew how to sing, then we wouldn't need these people. The singers and the artists that come here and join us in the studio, they have to bring in their inputs for the track and what is best for the track and not what's best for their ego. I don't think that Turbo's departure harmed the project at all because he left at a time when the music in Snap also changed. He could not identify himself with the music that we were doing. So the split was inevitable. The very first time that we felt that there was something coming, it was on Cult of Snap. And that track he regarded as techno. He said, well, I don't really like this techno music, I want to do more hip-hop and whatever. And then he was on tour in Italy and Spain because it was a huge hit in Spain. And he came back and all of a sudden it was his favorite song.
Music is something what has a lot to do with spirit, and if you have an idea, you have to grab the idea to hold it. And so that's why we work with computers, because it's the best way to be creative. Everyone can buy a little machine and make music, but it means nothing. You can paint a picture if you want, but you don't do this or I don't do this because I know I'm not good. But this machine helps everyone. Everyone can boot, and you have the sound, and everyone is happy because it's like to have a baby when you produce a record. It can run. Look,
all of a sudden it walks.
It can run. Everyone's clapped. But this is not a baby run for us. This is really a competition with a 100 meters race, like an Olympic game. Remixes is bullshit. I think it's really bullshit because rhythm is a dancer. It sold from the original, I don't know how many million songs, and you hear the original in the club, you hear it in the radio, you see it in TV. So it's always this what makes the song big. It was the original mix. All the other thing around is just marketing. You disturb people with this. You come to 8 different clubs and you hear 8 different mixes because there are 8 different mixes. And this cannot help the song. So at the end, what I buy? Nothing.
We believe more in sharpshooting. It's like one bullet and that's it.
You have to work hard here. That means you cannot go home at 5 o'clock. We work like Germans, that's all.
Hello, this is Jody John from Newcastle Lake, and I saw the show last week, and I've just got one thing to say. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, like, because, you know, I'm going to take the batteries out of my Walkman and I'm going to chuck them down the pan, because rock and roll seems to be dead, man. And, you know, all I can say is long live Jimi Hendrix and Lindisfarne. Thank you.
With Jamiroquai, I wasn't thinking, oh, this guy is black, and then I saw that he was white. I was more thinking, oh, this girl's voice is just so silky smooth. And then I saw it was a guy. I was like, okay.